Well, hello there. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. Yes, you can see I have blessed you once again with my beautiful face. But we are not here to talk about my beautiful face. We're here to talk about Paper Mario Color Splash, I believe it is. Color Splash, the Color Splash. It's a game that I actually haven't talked about much on Rule of Two Review yet, because I wasn't quite sure if I felt that it was important enough to do so, even though there was quite a bit of controversy about the game when it was first revealed, because a lot of people who've played the more recent Paper Mario games, most notably the Sticker Star Saga on the 3DS, weren't really excited about Color Splash because they felt like it was reverting back to some of what Sticker Star Saga apparently did, that I guess is very, very different than your traditional Paper Mario game. If you can't tell, I don't have a vast amount of knowledge or experience with Paper Mario. That's part of the reason I haven't talked about it yet. But the reason I want to talk about it today is because with the recent news from Nintendo, as I said, we're doing a lot of Nintendo videos this week with all of this news, and with this recent news that came out, people started to wonder what other games are going to come out for the Wii U in 2016, and I made a video discussing, well, it seems like we're pretty much done. With Zelda being moved, Star Fox is the last big game, Tokyo Mirage in a couple of weeks, and that's probably it, barring a few surprises at E3, which I still think may happen. And a lot of people in the comments brought up Paper Mario. Don't forget about Paper Mario Color Splash. That's one other game, so that's a game we can add to the 2016 roster. And yes, that's a good point. I wasn't really thinking about that title as I was putting together my thoughts over what might happen for the rest of the year in 2016. But the reason is because I don't 100% know if that game is going to be a Wii U release. So I know I say I don't have much experience or history with Paper Mario. I'm not familiar with how the 3DS games and the other Mario and Luigi game that borrowed some of the Sticker Star stuff have played out. But I have played Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, the Wii game. I've unfortunately not played the original on the 64, which really, really breaks my heart. One day I might go back to it. It may be available on the eShop, either the Wii or the Wii U eShop, and if someone knows that, you should tell me below. So maybe one day I'll go back and play it. I believe it's great. But I know that Paper Mario 64 and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door in the Wii are considered excellent games. And I loved Thousand Year Door. So at least I have played that game and I really loved it. So I can imagine if there's a handful of games that play like that and everyone loves those games, and then Sticker Star Saga comes along and really changes up that formula and simplifies it, I can totally understand why people are down on that game. That controversy, again, because I don't have that much at stake in Paper Mario, even as a huge Mario fan, and I don't know the differences between the older games and what Sticker Star Saga did, I never really wanted to talk about that game. But now it kind of belongs in the conversation because, like I said, quite a few people, commenters, and followers of the channel pointed out in that last video, well, not the last video, but one of the more recent videos, where I was discussing 2016, the news about the delay of Zelda and the NX launching in March, and the lack of games this year. A lot of people brought that up. Like I said, well, don't forget about Color Splash, don't forget about Paper Mario, that's another game this year. And yes, that is true. It is very likely, or very possible, I should say, that that game will be a Wii U release. But I kind of wonder if it's really makes sense for Nintendo to do that. That's kind of what I wanted to discuss. You know, it was pointed out to me by a couple of people that when that game was first revealed at the Nintendo Direct now 2 or so months ago, maybe even less, that they very curiously just said, oh, it's a game for later and we'll tell you about it later and we have nothing more to share or show. And they never even said a platform. They never said that it was a Wii U game. And I thought that that was very curious. At least I think. I didn't watch that Nintendo Direct, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But the way that they worded, we have nothing else to show for now, we're not even going to call it a 2016 game or whatever, they just didn't have much information to give, kind of made me wonder if they weren't quite sure what platform they were going to release that on, or maybe it's an NX game. What if it's actually a next-generation Nintendo game? It's not meant to release on the Wii U, and maybe Nintendo knows that, but at the time that they revealed it in that Nintendo Direct, they weren't quite ready to say that because they haven't told us anything at that point about the NX, that they're going to reveal information soon, that it wasn't going to be at E3, that it's coming out in 2017, all these different things. So they wanted to kind of tease something that they knew was eventually going to be an NX release. The whole sticky scenario is, it certainly could still be a Wii U game. And it's pretty likely. I would say at this point, in my personal view, you may disagree, but for me, it's 50-50. There's just as much of a chance that it is still going to release on the Wii U this year in 2016 that it will on the NX. I mean, we can look at the reasons why you would release it this year, because there's nothing else to play. I think July is when Tokyo Mirage comes out, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I maintain, as cool as that game is probably going to be, and as many of you out there that might be really big fans that's looking forward to that, in the grand scheme of things, you guys, that game is not going to be a big hit. It's not going to sell Wii reviews. It's not going to convince people that Nintendo is all of a sudden great again. It's not going to save this generation or the year of 2016. It's not going to make up for the lack of Zelda or the lack of anything else happening for the rest of the year. It's going to be a very niche title that will sell to people who already know they're going to love it, and they're going to love it. And like I said, only if I hear it's so amazing I can't pass it up will I play it. As of right now that I've actually seen what that game is, it no longer interests me personally, and I think a lot of people are echoing the same thing. Now, it's not meant to be crapping on your game, so if you're really excited for that game, I'm not trying to take away your excitement. Be pumped, play that game, love it like you're supposed to, but it no longer really fits into the conversation, personally, I don't think, of a big 2016 Wii U game from Nintendo. It no longer is that. It is not going to make a difference. It's not going to sell big enough. I don't think it's just not going to have an impact, you know? So with that going away, and that's going to come and go in July anyway, that's half of the year. What about the rest of the year? Well, if you do reveal that Paper Mario is a Wii U title and it's coming out holiday 2016 at E3 this year, if they reveal that, well, hey, there actually is a game to play, and all of a sudden that kind of becomes a little bit exciting. It would be nice to know that Nintendo really hasn't left the Wii U on Star Fox Zero and said, Star Fox Zero is the last Wii U game, as I discussed in another video recently as well. It's the last big game, it's the last one we're making, everything else is moving to the NX. You know, if they're not willing to do that, Paper Mario is that perfect kind of game, especially because it's a little bit controversial. It seems like if they're borrowing from what the Sticker Star games did that not a lot of people liked, that this might be another example, another case, you know, fulfilling the Wii U's prophecy of having a lot of B-team or B-tier entries in their storied franchises. The way Animal Crossing had the Amiibo Festival, Mario Tennis was kind of just like an incomplete piece of crap. Oh my god, Hyrule Warriors is like not really a Zelda game. It's an awesome game, but it's not really a Zelda game. Captain Toad, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, these like spin-off games in these universes that are really good, but they're not the typical traditional games that we really want out of these franchises. And there's a couple of other examples I'm probably brain farting as well. And Paper Mario being more of a Sticker Star Saga kind of game than it is a traditional epic RPG type of game might show that this is why it makes sense to release it on the Wii U now. And we've maybe moved the real Paper Mario team onto something for the NX. That's going to be the next big thing there, just like I speculated in a video recently as well. If you can't tell, you should watch a lot of my recent videos if you haven't, because I've discussed all of this in different facets. You know, they're moving that team to some other project, maybe an actual Paper Mario, and then Paper Mario Color Splash becomes like a B-tier sort of game that you can still release in 2016. I still believe the game will be very good, despite people's worries about it. It still looks like a very good game, and it's at least one more game that's a Nintendo game. It's a Mario title coming out in 2016 for the Wii U, like one of maybe 2 tentpole games they can end up releasing this year. And then it's like, well, at least they've released something on the system this year. However, the reasons why I think it also might not be a Wii U game and it might be an NX game pushed to 2017 is because why release it on the Wii U? At this point, with this recent news, with Zelda moving and the NX coming in March and everyone is like acknowledging that the Wii U is dead, Nintendo has finally, unfortunately, kicked this very great system to the curb. It's like no one is excited for the Wii U. No one's paying attention to it. No one's looking forward to games. Star Fox has already come. We're done. Like no one else. Nintendo has almost no shot of selling this system or any games to anyone else for the rest of the year. I don't think. And again, I'm a huge fan of the Wii U, so I'm not crapping on it. I'm just looking at it realistically here. And I don't know if Nintendo would see a benefit to releasing a game of this caliber. Yes, I'm calling it B tier, but it's still a Paper Mario game, and it looks beautiful. So I think that they risk releasing this kind of a caliber game on the Wii U on a system that it's not really going to sell on, and then it's just a waste of a title and it's a waste of a release. I hate to admit it, but I think that it would be smarter for Nintendo to straight up make this game an NX. I mean, it could be a launch title for the NX, and all of a sudden that's another game you can add to why the NX is great to pick up in March when it releases. You have Zelda, you have a brand new Zelda, you have a Paper Mario, and maybe you have a couple of other things, like we've all discussed Pikmin 4 or a new IP, and maybe some third-party ports. Like, I think that I just think that it's smarter for Nintendo to look at bypassing the Wii U for this release. It's smart for them to release it on the Wii U because it gives us another game to play in 2016 on this system and tells us maybe it's not as dead as we think. But it's also smart for them to release it on the NX because no one's going to pay attention to it, I don't think, on the Wii U. Or not enough people. I think that far more people would pay attention to it on a brand new system, the NX, than they would on a 4.5-year-old Wii U with 13 million units sold. Like, that's my personal, honest, true belief. You know, I'm not trying to dog the game. I know people are going to be very excited and say, oh, you shouldn't crap on Paper Mario and you shouldn't crap on the Wii U. Well, if you know me, you know I'm not really doing that. Like, I believe Paper Mario is going to be a great game, and I love the Wii U to death. But the Wii U is dead. Nintendo has waved it goodbye. They're sending it. It's freaking had its swan song with Star Fox. They're putting it on a river, and they're just sending it down the aisle. Like, it's done. And Paper Mario doesn't make sense to be released on this platform now. I think that the game, like, I'm beating a dead horse at this point. I think it's going to get more attention and potentially a lot more sales and interest if it releases as an NX launch title. And I'm willing to bet that Nintendo knows that. They're smart. They think ahead with these things. I feel like if they were already ready to just cut ties with the Wii U this early into the year, in the 4th month of the year, and say you got another 11 months to wait before the new Zelda comes out in our next system and anything that we're doing is going to release, why even release this one game? Why? Like, it's just almost sending it out to die. And I don't think Nintendo wants to do that. And if they're smart, they know they have something on their hands with Paper Mario that makes sense to release on the NX. So anyway, that's my long-winded thoughts about that. I mean, I want the game to be great and I want it to be successful, just like I want Nintendo or any company to be successful. And I think that the smartest thing they could do is, unfortunately, I'm sorry guys for all of you who want it on the Wii U and want it right now and think that 2016 isn't dead. I don't think they're going to do that, and I don't think that they should do that. So I feel like it's probably more than likely going to be an NX title, but at the same time, I wouldn't be disappointed if it was a Wii U release. I wouldn't be surprised either. I really see it could kind of go either way. But I don't want people to discount the possibility that Nintendo makes it an NX release, and it's just not a game that's meant to come out in 2016 for the Wii U. But we will see. I think that E3 will shed quite a bit of light on this topic and others, and we'll see if there's any surprise games for 2016 they're releasing on the Wii U, or if they officially say, nope, you got nothing else till March next year, deal with it. That's kind of what I think is going to happen, but we'll see. Anyway, that's what's going on. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Share your thoughts below about what you think about Paper Mario. Does what I say make sense? Do you think that I'm totally crazy? Are you excited for the game? Are you not excited for the game? What's going to happen with this title? What's going to happen with the future of Nintendo over this next year and all this crazy crap that's happening? Tell me what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in. This is Rob of Rule of 2 Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.